I want to know how following a carnivore diet for 90 days affects my strength, muscle mass, and body fat, all of which are affected by my weightlifting program. Last week I finally felt like my energy levels were starting to return while my rage levels were continuing to amplify. With a global pandemic causing all gyms to close for the foreseeable future, I don't know if these changes are coming from the lack of exercise or from adapting to the carnivore diet. To address all of these concerns, Week 5's mission was to find an alternative workout program to implement through quarantine. With the government mandating that every gym across my entire city shut down, this was not an easy mission. So in the short term, I picked up a bit of a side quest. I'm going to run every day to see how much I can improve my cardiovascular system in 1 week's time. I'll be using the Strava app to track how far and how fast I'm running. At the end of the week, we'll see how much of an improvement I've made. Hopefully, it's something. Day 1, run 1. Let's get after it. About what feels like an hour ago, but was probably 10 minutes ago, I thought that I was gonna be done. Then I got hit with the second wind. And I'm gonna keep going, even though it feels like my lungs are bleeding and my legs are made of lead. Let's get back to the starting point. Made it. Back to my starting point. See how far I got and how much time it took. 6.2 kilometers in 34 minutes. Every muscle in my body, including my neck, feels like it's cramping right now. Something else I should probably mention is that I don't think I could have made it any further. I feel like at the end of that run, I drastically reduced my kilometer speed. If someone was walking at a brisk pace, they might have been able to pass me. I'm probably going to need to take a day off tomorrow, so I might change my running every day scenario to seeing how much I can improve my run in 1 week, because running every day is probably going to be counterproductive. So the challenge is this: see how much I can improve my run time on the same route over the course of 1 week while eating nothing but meat. 0 carb cardio. After the first run, I looked up some programs online, but everything I was finding was telling me like, do 8 weeks to prepare for your first 5K. Meanwhile, I'm like, I just ran 6K without training at all. So I don't think that your program is appropriate for me. So I decided to just train off of intuition. Just ran another 6K. Was not planning on running the same distance that I did last time, but it just ended up turning out that way. I looked online and it looks like you should not be going full clip every time that you go for a run. So I went at a bit of a lighter pace this time. Didn't push myself to the point of absolute exhaustion. This one was a lot more comfortable, although it was still very difficult. Feel less winded, less exhausted, running basically the same distance in just slightly more time. So I think that I should be improving. I'm probably gonna take a day off again tomorrow. The third run was absolutely horrible. I felt like I was going to die the entire time, which didn't give me a lot of hope for how the final result was going to go. It's been 7 days since my first run. I've had 3 runs total for the week, and today I'm going to see how much I've improved or declined in my progress. How much improvement can I make on a 0 carb carnivore diet? Just finished my 1 week follow-up run, and I ran the same distance, the same exact route that I ran on day 1. For some reason, the app is tracking it as less, but it was exactly the same run. 30 extra seconds, so no improvement, but no decline either. Seems a little bit shocking that after a full week of practicing to run, I made 0 improvements. One thing about this run is that my legs didn't feel like they were as heavy and my lungs weren't in nearly as much pain as they were during the first run. The difference here was, and I believe that I could have pushed myself harder, but I also felt like there was a chance I might puke if I pushed myself any harder. And I didn't want to concern everybody around me that I was infected with the coronavirus. So I decided to hold back a little bit. But again, my entire body was starting to cramp. And I even had to switch hands that I was holding my phone in because my right arm was getting tired from holding the 1/10 of a pound that my phone weighs. If I learned anything, it's that you can get a muscular workout from going on a jog. So for now, I'm going to put the running on pause because I can't make any definitive statements about it until I find somebody who has a similar cardiovascular capacity to myself, who's eating carbohydrates, and then the two of us can run the same program and see who makes bigger improvements. And even though I can't make any definitive statements about whether or not the carnivore diet has any impact on your cardiovascular capacity, this entire challenge was worth it because I made one very valuable discovery while I was running. As I was going for a run on the first day, I discovered a little empty parking lot, which I'm going to convert into my own personal gym because there are some water pipes, which I can use as pull-up bars, and some other water pipes, which I can use to do some rows. I can do some sprints in here, some pistol squats, some push-ups, some tricep dips. Basically can run the whole gamut. 2 years ago, I traveled Europe for 3 months and maintained most of my upper body strength by just doing some variations of pull-ups, push-ups, and dips at outdoor workout parks. So this parking lot is actually a legitimate contender to be a replacement for my gym, but the biggest concern is how I'll maintain my lower body strength. When I was in Europe, I didn't do any leg training, and by the time I returned, my squats dropped by almost 100 pounds. Okay, I didn't think it was gonna be possible to push myself to failure when I was just doing body weight exercises for legs, but looks like I was sorely mistaken. Thank God. Maybe that means I can maintain my leg strength after all, even without a gym. I'm still slightly concerned about how my strength is going to be affected because I'm fairly certain that transitioning from a weightlifting program to a body weightlifting program is going to have some negative impact on the total weight that I can lift at a 1-rep max. Then I remembered I tested my pull-ups and my dips before starting the carnivore diet. So even if my 1-rep max tests are no longer valid, I do have a benchmark to compare my performance against. So, mission for the remainder of this quarantine is to implement a calisthenics program to learn how much I can improve my strength at body weight exercises during a carnivore diet. Calisthenics are body weight exercises, which I should be able to improve at because this has never been the focus of my weight training program. However, most people think that you need carbs to perform well at higher rep ranges, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing when I'm implementing a calisthenics program. So the question for you guys is, how do you think a carnivore diet will affect my strength in body weight exercises? Will my repetitions go up or will they go down? Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen and hit the subscribe button to follow this zero carb calisthenics journey. Now that I've been working out again, I have some additional insight into the source of my energy restoration. Because last week I had 2 hypotheses for why my energy levels were being restored. The first was that I was eating organ meats, which were rich in nutrients, which were replenishing my energy levels. And the second was that I was not exercising as much, which would naturally cause my energy levels to replenish because I'm not expending any energy at the gym. So I have been getting some physical activity again, and my energy levels seem to be lower in the morning. I don't know if that's because I started working out again or if it's also because I haven't eaten any organ meats in the meantime. So today, I'm going to find out if I eat this pea beef, will I feel more energy tomorrow after I work out again today? So, here we go. And I did start to feel slightly more energy the next day, but I haven't been strict enough with my organ consumption to make any definitive recommendation on what to do here. This topic of organ meat and energy requires more research and experimentation, so I'm going to dedicate a future video to this alone. I'm also curious to know if the increasing energy was a side effect of my amplifying rage. I've been feeling on edge since starting this diet, and that really increased in week 4, but I wasn't sure if this volatility was a consequence of the carnivore diet or from the lack of exercise. Now that my headphones have been deleted from my inventory and a hole has been added to my wall, I can say that the carnivore rage is real, and so are its consequences. I had the biggest temper tantrum of the last decade today. I'm not a very angry person. In fact, I've always thought that I am not angry enough. Other things that bother me slide, and I never used to stick up for myself in situations where I was more than capable of standing up to people. Can anger be used to your advantage? Saiyans use anger to go Super Saiyan. Can Sapiens use anger to go Super Sapien? That's a question I'm going to have to investigate further. In life, I seriously lack focus and the ability to get things done, but I feel like that has been changing since I started this carnivore diet. If the bargain that I'm making with the carnivore diet is incredible rage for incredible focus, that's a trade I'll make every time. And like the energy levels, this topic requires further investigation and a video of its own. So for now, I'm adding that to the log, but none of these future video ideas are going to matter if I run out of supplies. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that I was not going to get sick of eating steak. It was just going to be the sugar cravings that were haunting me. But filet mignon went from a delicacy to a chore to dangerously low supply. Fortunately, I received a care package this week that helped relieve some stress and replenish supplies. I love True Local. And the other thing that I love is meat. And the other thing that I love is Christmas. So today we're combining all of those things into one fantastic box of goodies. This is the best day since Christmas of '97 when I received a Nintendo 64. And a sister. Thank you, True Local, for solving my variety and supply problems in one swift delivery. If you guys live in Canada, visit truelocal.ca and get high quality, healthy, locally raised animal products delivered straight to your door. With the variety and supply problems resolved for now, the next thing to address are the sugar cravings, which have been haunting me since week 1. Well, last night, my worst nightmare came true. I cheated on the carnivore diet. I don't know why, but I had a couple of cookies and there was just no way that I could prevent myself from doing it. Fortunately, it was just that, a nightmare. I have this recurring nightmare where I eat something that's not carnivore approved, which is kind of strange considering that I have not even really having cravings for anything that's not a carnivore food anymore. Those faded a couple weeks ago. Honestly, sticking to the diet is becoming, in a lot of ways, easier than it was in the first place. And if this continues for next week, then I am going to start restricting the diet even further by eliminating additional foods, starting with eggs. At this point, I'm not really expecting many drastic changes to occur on a weekly basis. Instead, I'll focus on the experiences that have been pervasive throughout this diet, including my increasing rage levels, my oscillating energy levels, and since we're all stuck in quarantine right now, I'm interested in doing some challenges to evaluate and improve my mental capacity. Things like challenging myself to learn a new language or a musical instrument or read a book every week. Adopting this diet was about way more than just physical fitness. It was about improving in every aspect of life, including my discipline, productivity, and cognitive abilities. Thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate every one of you who's been liking the videos, commenting on the videos, or just watching and leaving. Everybody, you guys are the best, and you're keeping me motivated and sane and competent throughout this entire quarantine. So thank you guys, you're the best. It's incredibly meaningful to me that people are actually watching and enjoying this content. So thank you, and I look forward to sharing the rest of this journey with all of you.